Today I want to go ahead and show you where the upper water outlet connector is on this 2.7 liter. This one's actually leaking antifreeze, but you can actually see the paint crust at the bottom there. The top halves where they are ultrasonically welded together is actually where it's leaking. We've got our replacement part right here. Right here where my thumb is actually where that top half and the bottom half are actually, like I said, ultrasonically welded together. They have a tendency over time to start leaking because of that type of antifreeze. So what I want to do is show you a fairly quicker way to do it. It's not super fast, but it's actually a way to do it without taking the entire intake off. So we'll go ahead and move on to showing you the steps on getting it off. Alright, this time we've gone ahead and drained the antifreeze out of the system. We're going to go ahead and work on getting the 3 hoses off the upper water outlet connector. They are the upper radiator hose, one of the heater hoses, and one of the vent hoses coming off the coolant bottle. Also disconnect the coolant temp sensor. Got a little red lock here that you slide up and you squeeze and pull up. I'm going to go ahead now and we're going to move on to raising the intake up enough to get to it. There are a total of 8 10mm bolts located here, 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 and also one by the throttle body. To get to the one by the throttle body, you're going to have to remove the plastic cover that covers up the cables. Once you get that all loose, what we're going to do is get a nice little trusty block of wood. Get our pry bar, and we're going to gently lift up on the intake, just enough to wedge a block of wood under the side of it. Not all the way in, but just enough to prop it. Just like that. Now we got to loosen up a total of 4 8mm bolts holding the coolant upper water outlet housing. The 2 on the back were the reason why we had to lift the intake off in order to get to them. I've gone ahead and taken the front 2 out as well as the back 2. So now all I got to do is lift the assembly out. And as you can see where the coolant had been seeping out of the seam all the way around. So now all we're going to do is we're going to clean the surface area up real good, and then we're going to reinstall our new unit. Hoses go on, coolant temp sensor goes on, and then we also take the block of wood out, lower the intake, snug down on those bolts. It's not a real difficult task. It's just getting to those back 2 bolts. The main thing is to make sure that you try to get as much air out of the system as possible. What I like to do is I like to leave the bleeder screw open as I'm filling with antifreeze, and hopefully get enough to where it wants to start coming out the top. And then also, once I fill it up, I let it run for a while until the temperature gets about halfway, and then I'll let it cool back down, and then I'll recheck the coolant level again. It doesn't hurt to test drive it afterwards, and then if you got time left over, let it cool off one more time and check the level just to make sure you've got all the air out. Other than that, I pretty much think I've walked you through every step. Once again, simple problem, simple solution, and stay tuned for more.